Was yesterday's registration by E8M8888 really a registration of the Canon EOS R1? When can we pre-order the Canon EOS R1? And most importantly, when will it start shipping? Well, stick around after this short break, as we've got answers to all of these questions. But first, subscribe to stay up to date on the latest camera news. And for all the minor news stories, all those news stories not quite big enough to have their own separate video, follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yesterday, thanks to Weibo account E8M8888, we finally have a Canon registration for the Canon EOS R1. But he was busy posting again this morning, stating that the machine registered yesterday is likely the Canon EOS R1. And we agree, as we stated in yesterday's video, all the signs are pointing to the Canon EOS R1. The Canon EOS R1 is a 1 series camera, a flagship camera by Canon that comes out every 4 years like clockwork in times for the, Summer Olympic Games, and this year we have the Paris Olympics. So usually we get some sort of announcement in January, and usually it's a full-blown announcement where we can pre-order the camera and then move on with our life, and it starts shipping shortly thereafter within 1 to 2 months. But this year we're actually getting a refresh, a conversion from that old 1DX Mark III into a brand new mirrorless version of that camera, and it's supposed to be big, it's supposed to be bold, it's supposed to be a jack of all trades, the master of everything. And while the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, a 5 series camera, is also due for a refresh this year, it usually follows a 3 to 4 year cadence, although it did take 5 years in 2020 because, again, Canon's moving to a whole new, mount, the RF system. And we got the Canon EOS R5 announced in July of 2020, and July 2024 would mark the 4-year mark. And we've been told in pretty much certain terms that the R5 Mark II is going to come after that. So, what else could there be? Well, the R6 Mark II was recently refreshed. We've got the R8, we've got the R7, the R10, the R50, the R100, and all those cameras are new enough that we're not expecting anything there. It could potentially be an EOS RP refresh, but there wouldn't be all this hoopla over that. So no, this is definitely the Canon EOS R1. But many of you still aren't satisfied. You're asking when it's going to go on sale. So here's our forecast based on our conversations with industry insiders. Canon will announce the Canon EOS R1 7 to 10 days before CP+. This likely won't be some sort of press event where you'll be able to pre-order the camera. It will be a teaser of what's to come. We could get a teaser video, a web page splash, or even a development announcement with some specs. But what matters most to every photographer and videographer is, of course, the delivery phase, when we can walk into a store, purchase the camera, and when it shows up at our front door. And that's supposed to happen in April or May. Now, we don't know if it's going to happen in late April, early May, or anything in between, but those are the dates that we have for the Canon EOS R1. It's real, it's happening here in 2024. The first half, don't believe anybody that's saying the R1 isn't coming this year. It's not happening. It's definitely happening. And we know this from Canon because, they're a creature of repetition. They're a creature of doing the things that they've done in the past. And releasing a 1 series camera every 4 years, that's as guaranteed as the sun coming up in the morning, whether it's hidden by clouds or not. But now let's turn our attention to what sort of lenses we could expect to get with the Canon EOS R1. Now, one lens has been talked about since Q3, Q4 of last year, and that's the 200 to 500 millimeter f4 image stabilized USM. This, along with several other lenses, is part of Canon Rumor's 2024 lens roadmap, which is an update over the 2020 lens roadmap. Everything you see here in green is something that's been delivered based on what Canon Rumors said would happen, with, of course, the exception of the 200 to 500 millimeter f4 L-series image stabilized USM. And alongside the 200 to 500 millimeter, we think there's a very good chance that Canon's going to announce the 500 millimeter prime f4. There's also a possibility that we could get the 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8, as well as a 35 millimeter f1.2. But again, let's take a look at this camera, the Canon EOS R1. It's a high-end, flagship, fast action sports photography kind of camera. Now, it could be something closer to the Nikon Z9, but at this point, we don't have any credible specs. So well done, Canon, on not letting anything leak out. But can you send me something a little bit later today? We really want to have some leaked specifications. Anyhow, getting back to that scenario, that use case, the potential customers that this camera is aimed at, I think there's a greater probability that we'll see lenses like the 200 to 500 or the 500mm f4 announced alongside the Canon EOS R1. Now the 70 to 200mm, that's also plausible, as well as the 35mm f1.2, but if you really think about it, wouldn't it make sense for Canon to release those lenses along with the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, which according to our sources is telling us is going to be announced within 4 to 6 months after the Canon EOS R1. Yeah, so we are going to have to wait a little bit longer for the Canon did I say the Canon? Yeah, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, 4 to 6 months after the Canon EOS R1. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that one and for the lenses. But there's also a possibility that Canon could release some lens that we're not even aware of. I mean, after all, the 200 to 800mm f6.3 to 9, we weren't expecting that one. Neither were we expecting, although we've been expecting it for 30, 20 years, the 24 to 105 f2.8. But there is one other lens that many of you have been asking about, again, video after video. Simon, it's February, where's the big Sigma announcement? Well, Andrea Pizzini, the owner and editorial director of Sony Alpha Rumors and the YouTube channel by the same name, told us this morning that the announcement of new Sigma gear will happen after mid-February and not this week as I'd previously told. And of course, when he reports it, I'll go ahead and provide you with my recap, analysis, and summary. So that Canon, or that big Sigma announcement of new Canon RF mount lenses, well, it looks like it's still in play and we should have more information today. So that's why you want to make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter so that way you can stay up to date on the latest camera gear news and rumors. But now let's go back to the, well, registered devices from yesterday. If you'll recall, it wasn't just one device, a DS, what was it, 126922 or something like that. But that's the Canon EOS R1, so we really don't need to pay more attention to that. But there was another registered device by Canon Japan. E8M8888 updated us this morning telling us that the ID seems to be some sort of new project, that Canon has launched many machines in the past 2 years, which is worth looking forward to. New machines? What could this be? Could it be some sort of camera, video camera, cinema camera, or maybe it's one of those medical imaging devices? Well, E8M doesn't go on to say, but it leaves us with much speculation. There's a lot to cover and unpack in this video, and this is just the last thing. What do you think the new project could represent? Do you think it's related to imaging? Well, it is registered on the same day as the Canon EOS R1. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you're interested in pre-ordering the Canon EOS R1, we don't have that yet, but we do have smart pre-order links in the description down below. These ones right here. What they represent is, well, they'll work once the embargo is finally lifted, which we believe will be sometime in March, not February, but we have them down here in case you're watching this video later. What the smart pre-order links will do is show you every single option available, every kit option available for the Canon EOS R1 when the embargo is lifted at Adorama, B&H, and Amazon.com. And if you're interested in purchasing any other camera gear from Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, then please consider using these affiliate links because they really do help this channel grow. I get anywhere from 2 to 12% back on the purchase of any new gear that you purchase. It doesn't add anything to your cost, and that goes right back into supporting this channel. So getting the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, that's all because of you and your support for this channel, just watching videos or using the affiliate links. And of course, what other lenses come out this year? I'm planning on purchasing the 24 to 105 f2.8. I haven't put in my order yet because, well, it's on severe back order, but I think I'm pretty much going to pick that one up too. I'm just kind of, the other reason I'm sitting on the fence is I'm waiting to see what other lenses will come out and then make my decision. If I don't get the Canon EOS R1, which is likely if it's 30 megapixels or less and not aimed at a video shooter, like the Nikon Z9 is aimed at everybody as being the best of the best, then I might just keep that money and put it towards lenses because we all know, what do? Well, It's all about, what's the saying? I'm getting it mixed up in my head. You marry, you date the body, you marry the lenses. That's what I was trying to say. It's early in the morning here. It's just 3:30, so I'm a little bit tired. And the reason I got so stuck there is I had it in my head and I was, you know when you say things and sometimes you say it completely bass-ackwards and get it all wrong? That's what I was afraid I was doing there. But anyhow, a big thank you to everybody that has purchased using my affiliate links. Being able to purchase the 100 to 500 millimeter, that alone was a big accomplishment because of your assistance. And of course, the 200 to 800 and getting ready for what's going to be announced this year. Thank you so much, everyone, because just watching these videos is a great help, but using my affiliate links really makes a huge difference. So things are shaping up. Things are getting a little bit heated, which is great. I wouldn't be surprised if more information leaks out over this week and into next week. As we approach next week, that's when we can start to get actual leaked specifications, leaked images of all our favorite cameras and lenses that are due out here in 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on X, and we'll see you again soon.